everybody. Today I wanted to talk to you about some free tech tools that you can use in the classroom and education. I chose today to focus on the site called Kahoot. Kahoot is a game-based learning platform. A lot of teachers use it in their classroom to help engage students. One of the things that makes it very unique is that you can create games, and it only takes minutes to do so. The format and number of questions that you create is totally up to you as the teacher. So students can play Kahoot in groups. That's the best setting. All they have to do is join the game, and then the program creates a unique pin so that they can play. Players answer on their own devices and while questions are displayed and shared on the shared screen. In addition to live games, you can also send Kahoot challenges to different students, and they can complete those as homework assignments or additional learning or things like that. So I wanted to go ahead and show you this tool. What you do is you go to create.kahoot.it. This is free for anyone who wants to use it. You just go in and create an account, and once you have that account created, this will be the screen that you see. So in order to start, you just go over to this Create button in the top right corner. You click that button, and it's going to come up and you're going to click that you want to create a new Kahoot. So this is a screen that'll pop up, and it's already setting you up to start writing in your questions. One of the really neat things about Kahoot is that you can use it for any subject matter because the questions are solely up to you. So for today's purposes, I'm going to use 4 different questions, and I'm going to make these questions all different subject areas. The first one is going to be history related. The second one will be science related. The third will be math related. And the fourth is actually going to be a PE question. This just kind of shows you some different ways that you can use this program. My current position is an administrator. And so some ways that I have used this as an administrator is, since it is confidential and it's just used to see results, I have used it for questionnaires so that teachers can answer questions, and I can kind of get a gauge as to, what teachers like, what works, and what doesn't. And so that is a way I've been able to use it as an administrator. So first off, I'm going to put in a history question. So as it comes up, you're ready to go ahead and start. So you just click on the Start Typing Your Question section. And so my first question is going to be, the sale of what was prohibited during Prohibition? So you just type in your question. And then it gives you an option to put in some pictures. So just for fun, we're going to add in a Prohibition picture. And that just kind of makes it a little bit more interesting for students. And then you're going to scroll down, and it automatically gives you 4 answer options. You can change that. If you only want to give 3 answers, you can. But just no matter what you do, you have to make sure to select the correct answer. So we're going to go in each one, and we're going to add in some responses. And once we have all of our responses typed in, we have to make sure to click the box of the correct answer. This is the way that it will tell us if students get the answer correct or not. So after you put the first question, you're just going to go over to the left-hand side, and you're going to click to add a new question. So we just want to continue on with a quiz question. There are different options. The only ones that are free are the quiz question and the true or false. Before we end, we'll do a true or false question. So our second question is actually going to be science related. We're going to ask, what is the most abundant gas in the Earth's atmosphere? So again, if you want to add a picture, you can. You can also add a video or a YouTube link. You do not have to do so. You're going to make sure to put in your answers. And then make sure to select the correct answer. Again, for the third question, we're going to add another question. We're going to make it a quiz question. This one will be math related. We're going to ask, what is 7 times 3? Again, you could add a picture if you felt the need to do so. We're going to put in some responses. And then we're going to make sure to click the correct response. For our final question, we're actually going to do this one as a PE question, just to kind of show that you can use this in any classroom. So we're going to make this one a true or false question so that you can see how that one works. So for this one, we are going to ask, children should do 60 minutes or more of physical activity each day. And we're asking, is that true or is that false? So all we have to do in this instance is just click the correct answer. So we're going to click that this one is true. And since that's all the questions we want to put, we're going to scroll up to the very top and we're going to click this green done button on the top right hand corner. So once you click done, it's going to ask you if you want to add a title. This is just a title for your quiz in general. We're just going to call this one Kahoot Challenge. You can put a description if you want. You can make it a little bit fun. If you're doing a quiz or you're doing just a survey for student opinions, you can put those kind of descriptions in here, let students know what the purpose for this Kahoot is. If you're doing this for adults, it would be a good place to tell them that, their responses are going to be confidential so they can be honest in their answers. But it is also optional. You don't have to put it. So you're just going to click continue. And this is going to save your quiz that you've created. So it says, yay, the Kahoot is ready to be played. So you're going to click done. Alright, and now it comes up to show you the quiz itself. So now whenever it comes time for students to do this, one of the good things is that you can create these quizzes way in advance and it's just going to store it within your site since you have created an account and logged in. So whenever it's time for students to play, you're going to go to it and you're going to click play, and it's going to ask you if you want to do teach or assign. So this is what I was talking about earlier in the video, where it allows you to either play or do it as a game right now, or you can assign it to students to do later for homework or for additional support. It would be a really good way if you have some students with disabilities who have IEPs or 504s and you want to offer them some extra assignments or maybe an alternative way to answer some of their quizzes or questions. And so you can offer that in an assignment through Kahoot as long as they have internet access at home. So for this purpose, we're going to do the teach. So you just click teach, and it's going to ask you if you want to do classic or team mode. Classic is where each individual player has their own device. Team mode is clearly where they're going to share the devices. It gives you game options where you can do personalized learning, friendly nickname generator. I'm a high school administrator, so to me that friendly nickname generator is a good idea. I know sometimes kids can come up with some pretty unique names that we're not quite so sure of. It also asks if you want lobby music to randomize your questions, your answers, things of that nature. We're pretty good with how we have it, so we're just going to click classic. And it's going to come up and ask if you're ready to join. So what this is doing is it's giving kids time to go to www.kahoot.it. So I'm going to do that on my own personal device just to show you how this works on the teacher side. Once they go to www.kahoot.it, it automatically comes up for a place for them to type in their game pin. So once you type in your game pin and press enter, it's going to ask for a nickname. Since we didn't do a randomized generator, we're going to have to come up with a name. Once you type in a nickname, they're going to click OK, and it's going to say here that there's a player ready to go. And it's going to activate the start button. So we're going to go ahead and press the start button, and it's going to start asking the first questions. And ask if you're ready to give students time to prepare. So our first question was, the sale of what was prohibited during the Prohibition? So students are going to begin by answering. They get the options, and it's doing a countdown over on the right-hand side. or left-hand side, I'm sorry. And so we're going to answer our question. And you have to make sure that students answer on their own personal devices. So you're going to click Next. And it's going to tell how many points were earned during that round. Clearly, when there's more than one student in the class, it's going to show all of the student scores, and it's going to keep track of how they do, so that they can be competitive and decide and try to battle each other while they're playing. That is what makes it game-like. So here it's going to calculate the points and let you know where you stand. We're going to go to the third question. We're going to answer one incorrect. So again, I didn't generate any points because I didn't get it correct. And then we're going to click Next. So on this screen, after the whole quiz is finished, it's going to place each student. It's going to let you know who came in third, second, and first. So that way, as a teacher, you can go ahead and reward the student who came in first, second, or third, especially if you have a large class. You can keep track of this. You can keep it on a chart within your classroom so that students can continue to compete. You can have different methods for students to win. That way, maybe students who have accommodations or disabilities or who find this challenging on their own have a chance to win as well. So when you're finished, you're going to hit Next, and it's going to come up and tell you well played. They can play it again if that's what you choose. You can also get feedback. So when you click Get Feedback, players can give you feedback on their phones. So it's going to come up on the phone and say, how do you rate this Kahoot? They can choose up to 5 stars. Did you learn anything? And do you recommend it? They're going to continue that again on their phone. And then you can show that feedback on your screen. So that just kind of lets you know and gauges whether or not your students find this interesting. We as teachers like to do things to make class fun, and sometimes we think that it's going to be fun, but we also have to make sure that our students actually think that it's fun as well. There's an option for difficult questions. It'll show which questions the students got wrong. That way you can go back and you can review. You can make sure to go over anything that they need help with and things of that nature. But as far as Kahoot, that's something that I have personally used in my own classroom. I think that it's very entertaining. I think that students find it fun. I like the fact that you can use it in pretty much any classroom, all the way from kindergarten up to senior year of high school. I've seen it used in many different settings, and I'm a very big fan. Thank you guys for watching.